Dear listeners, welcome back. This is Sonia, and I'm so glad to have you with me once again for part 3 of our enchanting story, Bound by Fate, The Love of Raj and Andrea. In the last chapter, we witnessed the deepening connection between Raj and Andrea, their love blossoming despite the challenges of tradition and distance. Now, as they stand on the edge of new decisions and unforeseen trials, their journey continues with even greater stakes. Sit back, relax, and let's dive back into their world of love, longing, and fate. As the day turned into evening, Raj prepared to leave for dinner at his parents' house. He arrived early, greeting his parents. His father, always direct, asked, "Raj, your mother mentioned that your friend is staying at one of our hotels? The staff informed me when I called this morning that you were there." Raj, keeping his composure, replied, "Yes, I went there to see him." Raj's mother, Anisha, approached with her usual grace and said, "Raj, you should bring him here for dinner before he leaves. It would be nice to meet him." A bit flustered, Raj quickly responded, "Mother, he's already left for another city today." "What a pity," she said, with a hint of disappointment. "I would have liked to meet him." "Next time, Mother," Raj assured her, trying to keep the conversation light. As Raj was speaking with his father, Indara and her family entered the room. Raj turned to greet them, and as his eyes met Indara's, he felt a deep certainty there was no spark, no connection in her gaze. It was as if they were both silently acknowledging that this arranged marriage was not what either of them truly wanted. The families exchanged pleasantries and settled into conversation before dinner. Raj, feeling a surge of urgency, took a deep breath and approached Indara, saying, "I need to talk to you." Indara, ever polite, replied, "We can't be alone, you know that." "That's not necessary, Indara. We can sit right here, just a bit farther away from everyone else." "On that sofa over there," Raj suggested. Indara nodded in agreement, and the two moved to the sofa. Raj noticed his mother watching them intently, so he positioned himself with his back to her, hoping to shield their conversation from her scrutiny. Despite his certainty that Indara didn't love him, he couldn't help but worry about how she might react to what he was about to say. Raj took another deep breath and began, "Indara, I need to ask you something, and I want you to be completely honest with me. No matter what you say, I won't be upset. But I need to know." Indara met his gaze and said, "I think I know what you're going to ask. Do you love me?" Raj asked, his voice steady yet filled with anticipation. Indara hesitated, her eyes searching his. "You said you wanted the truth, didn't you?" "Yes, the truth," Raj affirmed, though her hesitation had already given him the answer. "No, Raj, I don't love you. I'm sorry, but that's the truth," Indara admitted, her voice soft but firm. Raj felt an overwhelming sense of relief wash over him. "But why are you asking me this now? We've been promised to each other for so long," Indara questioned, her curiosity piqued. Raj, sensing the need for further honesty, said, "I have another question for you." Indara's suspicion grew. "Does he know about my feelings for someone else?" she wondered. "Go ahead, Raj. Ask." Raj looked deep into her eyes, seeking the truth. "I need you to be completely honest again, Indara." Just as Raj was about to continue, his mother interrupted, "Dinner is served." Raj glanced at Indara, "We'll finish this conversation after dinner." Indara, now on edge, nodded. As everyone gathered at the table, Raj's mother casually asked, "What were you two discussing?" Raj, forcing a smile, replied, "Nothing much, Mother." Indara offered a similarly evasive smile, her thoughts racing. During dinner, Raj's mother announced to Indara's family that it was time to start planning the wedding. Both Raj and Indara exchanged uneasy glances. "What do you think, Indara?" Raj's mother asked. Indara, unable to muster more than a polite smile, nodded in agreement as her family wholeheartedly supported the idea. Raj felt tension tightening his chest. Raj's father spoke up. "Raj, do you two have a specific date in mind, or would you prefer we decide for you?" Raj, caught off guard, stammered, "I'd rather talk to Indara first, and then we'll decide." "Don't take too long," his mother urged. "There's a lot to prepare, and we need the date to send out invitations. Can you give us an answer by tomorrow?" Raj, growing increasingly anxious, replied, "Why the rush, mother? Preparing for a wedding takes time, Raj," she explained, her tone firm. It was then that Raj realized he needed to reveal the truth about Andrea to his parents, and soon. The dinner he was hosting tomorrow had to be flawless, and he needed to be certain of Andrea's feelings before confronting his family. His mind spun as his mother continued discussing wedding plans. After dinner, everyone returned to the living room for tea. Raj and Indara resumed their conversation on the same sofa, the weight of unspoken words hanging heavily between them. Raj's heart ached with the realization, but it also strengthened his resolve. He needed to talk to Indara, to find out if she felt the same way, and to see if they could both find the courage to pursue the love they deserved. Indara's eyes flickered with uncertainty. She hesitated, not knowing how to respond. "Why are you asking me this, Raj?" Raj leaned in slightly, his voice soft but insistent. "Because I sense that you don't love me. There's a significant distance between us, a disconnect that's hard to ignore. I need you to be honest with me, Indara. I promise that whatever you share with me will stay between us. You can trust me, I just need to know the truth." Indara studied Raj's face, her mind racing. She took a deep breath, then said, "Raj, I feel that distance too. You've never shown any real feelings for me, and I've always felt like there was something missing between us. So I can't help but wonder why you're so concerned about my feelings now. There's only one explanation that makes sense: you've fallen in love with someone else, haven't you? Now, it's your turn to be honest with me." Raj held her gaze, the weight of the moment pressing down on him. "You're right, Indara. I have fallen in love with someone else, and it wouldn't be fair to you or to myself to marry without love. But now, I need to ask you, do you love another man?" Without hesitation, Indara replied firmly, "Yes, Raj. I do love someone else." Raj felt a wave of relief wash over him. "Indara, we can't go through with this marriage when our hearts belong to others. We need to resolve this quickly. Our mothers are already discussing wedding preparations. We need to gather our families and tell them the truth." Fear flashed across Indara's face. "Raj, they'll never accept this. They've been counting on this marriage ever since we were children." Raj's voice softened, but his resolve was clear. "Indara, I refuse to marry without love, and you shouldn't either. We'll never find happiness if we're bound to each other out of obligation. The world has changed, and so must we. We need to face this head-on and arrange a dinner where we'll tell our parents everything." Though apprehensive, Indara nodded in agreement. "Raj, this won't be easy. They'll want to know who these people are that we've fallen in love with. By the way, who is this woman you're in love with? Do I know her? Is she from a royal family?" Raj shook his head. "She's not from the royal family, she doesn't share our religion, and she's not even Indian." Indara's eyes widened in disbelief. "What are you saying? You must be out of your mind, Raj. They'll never accept this. They'll have to, Indira. If they refuse, then I'll leave India, Raj replied with determination. Does this woman you love feel the same way about you? Is she ready to stand by your side and face your entire family? Because this won't be an easy journey, Indira cautioned. Raj chuckled, almost in disbelief at the absurdity of the situation. To be honest, Indira, I don't even know if she loves me or if she's willing to marry me. Indira stared at him in shock. You've just revealed all of this to me, and now you're telling me you're not even sure if she loves you? Raj, you must be going mad. Raj smiled, a mix of anxiety and hope in his eyes. I'll tell you everything. As Raj recounted his story of meeting Andrea, the connection they shared, and the emotions he couldn't deny, Indira listened, her expression softening with understanding. When he finished, she sighed, I see now, Raj. I understand what you're going through. Raj leaned back, relief evident on his face. Now it's your turn, Indira. Tell me about the man you love. Does he know how you feel? Indira took a moment to collect her thoughts before revealing her own story. As she spoke, Raj listened intently, his expression turning from curiosity to understanding. When she finished, Raj couldn't help but smile. Your situation is strikingly similar to mine, Indira. The only difference is that the man you love is one of our own. Though he isn't from the royal family, he's a common worker. Indira nodded, a wistful smile on her lips. Yes, Raj. He's just an ordinary man, but he means everything to me. Raj reached out, gently placing a hand on Indira's. Then we both have a lot to fight for, don't we? Indira and Raj informed their families of their desire to arrange a dinner in 2 days' time. Both sets of parents were intrigued, their curiosity piqued by this sudden announcement. Raj's mother, in particular, was insistent, her voice tinged with concern as she pressed for an immediate explanation. Upon returning home, Raj confided in Onik, his words heavy with emotion. I told you, Onik, he began, his voice a mixture of resignation and vindication, that Indira didn't harbor romantic feelings for me. Her heart belongs to another man. She finds herself in a predicament similar to, if not more precarious than, my own. The situation is further complicated by her gender, which undoubtedly makes matters more challenging for her suitor. He's but a common laborer. Can you fathom her parents' reaction upon hearing this? The poor fellow lacks the financial means to sustain Indira's accustomed lifestyle. However, if her love is genuine, his pecuniary status should be inconsequential. Onik regarded Raj with a mixture of sympathy and skepticism. You're deluding yourself if you believe convincing your parents will be a simple task. You and Indira must be living in a fantasy world. I sincerely hope everything unfolds favorably, though I harbor my doubts. Everything will be fine, Onik, Raj asserted, his voice tinged with a hint of desperation. And if they refuse to accept our decision, I'll have no choice but to leave India. He paused, then inquired, Onik, are all the preparations in order for tomorrow's dinner? Yes, everything is arranged precisely as you requested, Onik confirmed, his tone betraying a hint of concern for his friend's bold plan. May I pose a question? Onik began, his voice tinged with concern and a hint of exasperation. You're brimming with plans involving Andrea, yet you remain uncertain of her affections or intentions towards you, Raj. To an outsider, your discourse might suggest you're already an established couple. Don't you think you might be allowing your imagination to run unchecked? Onik, I'm convinced she reciprocates my feelings, Raj replied, his voice laden with unwavering certainty. I can sense it intuitively, and tomorrow, I shall have my definitive confirmation. Andrea and Susie found themselves engrossed in dinner conversation, with Susie unable to contain her enthusiastic chatter about Raj. Andrea, by contrast, merely offered enigmatic smiles. Eventually, Susie posed the question that had been lingering in the air. If he were to propose a romantic involvement, would you acquiesce? Andrea's countenance took on a mysterious quality as she responded, "Me, entering into a relationship with a prince? I was drawn to him, Susie, not because of his royal lineage. We were oblivious to that fact initially. We only became aware of his princely status through the hotel employee's revelation. I experienced an inexplicable connection when I first laid eyes on him in the jewelry store. It transcends his noble title or lack thereof. It's been a considerable period since I've engaged in a romantic relationship. Let's see how events unfold at dinner." She paused briefly before continuing, her voice taking on a tone of quiet confidence. "As for his interest in me, I'm certain. He even instructed his subordinate to keep me under surveillance." Susie's brow furrowed with concern as she cautioned, "Are you cognizant of the challenges that lie ahead? Their religious practices and cultural traditions diverge significantly from our own." "I'll contemplate those intricacies when the appropriate moment arises, Susie," Andrea replied, her voice tinged with a mixture of determination and nonchalance. At last, the much-anticipated evening of the dinner arrived. As twilight deepened into night, Raj dispatched his personal chauffeur to collect Andrea and Susie from their hotel. The air was thick with anticipation as they embarked on what promised to be an unforgettable evening. Upon arrival, Andrea and Susie found themselves immersed in a culinary experience beyond their wildest dreams. The centerpiece of the meal was an exquisite chicken tikka masala, its rich aroma and complex flavors a testament to the authentic Indian cuisine they had longed to savor. The dinner unfolded with graceful ease, Andrea and Susie marveling at the array of delicacies artfully presented before them. Raj proved to be the quintessential host, his charm and attentiveness captivating his guests. Yet, Andrea's perceptive gaze couldn't help but detect an underlying tension in his eyes. As the evening progressed, she found herself increasingly intrigued by this enigmatic prince who had so unexpectedly entered her life, his presence both alluring and mysterious. Following the sumptuous meal, Raj gallantly escorted Andrea to a secluded balcony that offered a breathtaking panorama of the city below. The night air was balmy, enveloping them in its warm embrace, while the city lights twinkled like a vast constellation of earthbound stars. "Thank you for the dinner," Andrea said softly, her voice breaking the comfortable silence that had settled between them. "It was truly wonderful." Raj's smile, though outwardly genuine, failed to illuminate his eyes, betraying an underlying tension. "I'm delighted you found it enjoyable, Andrea. There's a matter of great importance I need to discuss with you." Andrea's heart began to palpitate wildly, an inexplicable premonition washing over her that Raj's impending words would irrevocably alter the course of their burgeoning relationship. "I haven't been entirely forthright with you," Raj began, his voice laden with trepidation. "While it's true that I am a prince, there's more to my situation. I'm betrothed to another." Andrea felt as if the very foundation beneath her feet had suddenly disintegrated. She retreated a step, her eyes frantically searching Raj's countenance for any indication that this was an ill-conceived jest. However, all she discerned was a profound sincerity intermingled with palpable anguish. "Why, then, did you extend this invitation?" Andrea's voice emerged as a barely audible whisper, trembling with emotion. "What was the purpose of bestowing that necklace upon me?" "Because," Raj responded, closing the distance between them, "from the moment I laid eyes on you, I knew. I recognized that the life meticulously planned for me wasn't the one I truly desired. Though I'm promised to another, my heart unequivocally belongs to you, Andrea. Andrea shook her head, struggling to comprehend the gravity of the situation. Raj, this is absolute madness. You have a fiancé, and your royalty. Your life, your duty, lies here with your people and your traditions. I'm just a transient visitor in your world. Raj gently clasped her hands in his own. You're not just anything, Andrea. You are the catalyst who has awakened me to the true meaning of feeling alive, of experiencing genuine love. Andrea gazed into Raj's eyes, perceiving the profound depth of his emotions. Simultaneously, she comprehended the immense magnitude of his request. To pursue a relationship with him would necessitate defying everything: his family, his culture, and the expectations of an entire nation. Raj, she whispered, her voice suffused with anguish as she gently withdrew her hands from his grasp. I cannot be the catalyst for such monumental upheaval in your life. You bear a weighty duty and responsibility. I refuse to be the reason you forsake those obligations. Raj's countenance fell, his features etched with despair. Duty pales in comparison to relinquishing love, he declared, his voice resonating with conviction. But I cannot dismiss it so easily, Andrea responded firmly, her resolve unwavering. You must reconcile matters with your fiancé and your family before we can even contemplate the possibility of a future together. I'm returning to my hotel now. Raj watched, his heart rent asunder between duty and desire, as Andrea turned and walked away, her silhouette gradually fading into the night. That's where we'll leave Raj and Andrea for now. But don't worry, their story is far from over. To be continued in part 4, it only gets better from here. Until next time.